In today's video, I am showing you how I created this waterproof placemat using vinyl and how I finished the edges with my serger. My name is Tammy. I'm a human being. Stay tuned. What you see here is the beginnings of my quilt sandwich for my table placemat. On top here is my quilt top. It measures 20 inches horizontally by 14 inches vertically. As my batting, I just have some basic warm and natural batting. And for my backing, my friend, I am using a recycled pillowcase. Yes, that's right. A recycled pillowcase for my backing. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and square this up. I'm going to cut out a perimeter here that will be approximately, I don't know, I'll give myself maybe a half an inch, 3/4 of an inch. And then I am going to, well, actually first I'm going to stitch in a ditch to secure this quilt sandwich. And I'll probably like stitch here and then stitch horizontally at the seam line. And then I will cut myself approximately a half an inch border. And then I will return and show you how I serge the edges of this placemat. Stay tuned. I've completed the stitch in a ditch process for my quilt sandwich. And let me show you a close up here. So as you can see, not perfect, but it's done. Stitched there. And I also stitched here. Now I am going to be placing 12 mil clear vinyl plastic over the top of this placemat so that it's protected from you so that when you use it, you can just wipe down the vinyl top instead of washing the whole placemat every time. So for that reason, the clear vinyl that I have has some sparkle in it. And so I think that sparkle will detract from the fact that I use white thread on top. Let me show you the back of this sandwich. Again, I used a recycled or upcycled pillowcase from some old linens that I had. And you can see here, I just stitched in the ditch here. And then this is that inner part of the star. And then I stitched the outer portion. So the next step is I'll take you over to Olive, who is my serger, and I'll show you how I attach this quilt sandwich along with the clear vinyl with sparkle, and we will have that beautiful serged edge. Stay tuned. Hey, before I take you over to the serger, I thought, let me share this with my quilty friends and see what you guys can come up with. Here are the scraps from me cutting out the placemat from that pillowcase, and these right here are the edges. And so once you open it, I mean, we have a lot of real estate here, but what's most interesting is this part to me, which is where you would insert the pillow through here. So as I'm stitching in the ditch, I'm thinking, oh, I feel like I want to do something with this leftover scrap from the pillowcase to continue to further upcycle it. So I remember, hey, I had this like random pinwheel block I was testing. So here it is. So tell me what you think, my quilty friend. Like, I don't know. I'm thinking like maybe make some 4-inch little blocks here and maybe do a satin stitch along the edge. I don't know. If you have any ideas of projects that I can do with this leftover scrap from this upcycled pillowcase, comment down below and share with me. Now, for real, let's go over to the serger. Stay tuned. I've attached the clear vinyl with the sparkles to my quilt sandwich. And this is what it looks like prior to serging. Let me bring your attention to yet another rule that I have broken. I know you are absolutely not supposed to put pins through vinyl because when you place a pin in vinyl, it's permanent, that mark from the pin. But here is the trick. The trick is I am going to start serging on this edge of the sandwich. So what I've done is, yes, I've placed a pin through the vinyl to secure the vinyl to my quilt sandwich, but this pin is in the section that will eventually be serged off. So what that'll allow me to do is to insert this edge into my serger, I'll stitch here. I'll show you what that looks like. And then when I get to this side, it'll be basically come from the serger here and it'll stitch all the way down. And then guess what's going to happen when it gets here? Once the serger makes the seam here, this will fall off and off will fall the holes in my vinyl. Stay tuned. Finally, we are at Olive, who is my Baby Lock Triumph serger. Let me go over the supplies, if you will, that I'm using to create this stitch. So in my upper looper, I have yellow woolly nylon. In my lower looper, I have like a brown color woolly nylon. And then in my number 1 and 2 needles, I'm just using some variegated threads. I am upgrading my thread game and I've purchased a lot of different types of threads, and some of them, like this woolly nylon, came in the mail, but my other threads aren't here. So I'm just using what I have on deck for this project today. The needles that are in my serger, I am using 9014 needles. And let me give you a close-up as to how this is stitching out. I am using a 4-thread serger stitch. And this is what it looks like thus far. And I'm pretty happy with the results. When it's all finished, of course, I will show you. But the stitching process requires both of my hands and my tripod. Just can't give you guys good angles, so I need to stitch that off camera. But as you can see here, what's happening is my blade, which is right there, is just to the right of, so the blade is here, and then my fabric is exactly at the blade. So what's happening is, like I was telling you guys earlier, what's happening is as this sandwich feeds through the feed dog of the serger, what's coming off is this. This is the excess that's coming off. So here is that vinyl with the sparkles, and then here's my batting, and then here is the backing, which is the pillowcase. But if you can see, there is no, in this, that's the part that's coming off, none of my quilt, hang on. Pardon me. So as you can see here, what's coming off once the blade goes through the sandwich is not my quilt top. What you see here is the batting, the backing, and the vinyl, but there is none of this, which is my top, because I've placed, or it's feeding in, I guess the sandwich part is to the left of the blade ever so slightly, so that I guess it's like less than the 1/8 of an inch, so that when this serger thread, when the serger creates the stitch, it covers everything up. So I am going to finish up this project and then show you the finished results. Stay tuned. Ta-da! It is all finished, and let me now show you the close-up. So this is what the front looks like, and here are those beautiful serged edges. Again, I used yellow woolly nylon on the top, and I have for my needles, or my 2 needle colors, I have variegated thread here, and then the back side, wait for it, is here. This is what the back side looks like. It looks pretty good. And let me show you the stitches on the back. So this is what the back looks like. It looks pretty good. But, and then here you can see where I buried my stitches. But I need your help. So here are a couple of problems I encountered with this project. Let me see, let me find it. So right here, I noticed while the machine was sewing, and I'm glad I was looking at it, that this thread on my needle number 1 broke. And so there's this gap here in the stitches. I think what happened is that because this vinyl is sticky when it's going through underneath the feed dog, so I had to kind of come up with this choreography movement where the sandwich was moving through the serger, through the needles, and then I had to give it a little bit of support by, I don't want to say tugging it, honestly, but just moving it along. So I think what happened right here was I was pulling too hard and like snapped the thread and it broke and I had to rethread it. But if you know why, please comment down below and let me know. But I think that's what happened there. Here is what the back side of that oopsie looks like. Again, that top thread and needle, I don't know if I think it was needle 1, which was a variegated thread. It broke, and so it just messed up that whole segment. Here is a close-up of how I buried my threads into the back of the project in the seam. Thank you for sharing with me that I needed to purchase crochet needles. I did just that. I bought this pack. I think there's like 10 in here from Amazon. And so I selected the smallest crochet needle, which is the eye or the hook is really small. And I followed the process of weaving the serger threads through. But honestly, my friend, it didn't work for me. And I think it's because I'm impatient. The process was working, but I was getting impatient because this little hook, I'm not a crocheter or knitter. So and I'm left-handed. Not that that makes a difference, but I use that as my excuse. But I didn't know how to manipulate this hook and it was getting all stuck in there. So I just gave up. But the process works. It's just me. I didn't have patience for it. But here is where I found success. So in this crochet pack that I purchased from Amazon, they had these needles. They're larger, and it has a larger, it's basically a similar one as I was using in my other video, but the needle is a little more blunt. So I went back to this process only because I had the patience for it, not because the crochet didn't work. It worked beautifully. I just don't know what the devil I'm doing. So thank you so much for sharing that with me. It really made a difference as far as improving my skill set. I just need to practice it a little bit more. I think like anything, you use it or do it a few times more and it gets better. So again, here's the end of the project. If you know why those stitches happened, let me know in the comments. The other thing I need your help with is I noticed on this side, it started to roll a little bit and my intention was not to use a rolled finish. I will definitely do a wave stitch, which I can do on my Triumph. I'll do that in another video. But if you know why this kind of happened here, comment down below because I have no idea what I was doing in order for these threads to roll. Because you can see here, the lower looper brown is peeking out, but it didn't happen over here. So let me know. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you subscribe to the channel so that you can join me on this journey of off the beaten path quilting tutorials. To the next video. Bye.